it's choking me up, and I'm here on my own, praying silent to God. And I'm here in the sound, makes me feel strong and proud. It's so real and profound. Shout it out, warriors of the sea, riding forever free for all eternity. Warriors of the sea, warriors of the sea, now and forever free for all eternity. Warriors of the sea, warriors of the sea. We are stranded now with a lonely heart, and I hear the sound coming from afar that reminds me of home, such a long time ago. But there's no turning back, I belong to this path, and I'm here in the sound, makes me feel strong and proud. It's so real and profound. Shout it out, warriors of the sea, riding forever free for all eternity. Warriors of the sea, warriors of the sea, now and forever free for all eternity. Warriors of the sea, warriors of the sea. Alrighty, where did it go? Okay, where am I? Oh no. Oops. What did I do? Okay. Okay, it should have us on here. Where did it go? Oops. Okay. Alrighty, come on. What the heck? All right. Jeez Whiz. What's going on? My screen is not working. All right, add to the stage.
You got
Yes, okay.
all
And
right.
there we go.
There
I
we
just got to
go.
move it all over. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Oh, there we go. Now it's working. All right. Welcome to
back.
Front Row Promotions and the Metal Summit together here at last. Here is Doro Pesch. And take it away, Jay. All right.
Well, first and foremost, Lisa, thank you so much for having myself and Angel, and more importantly than that, thank you for having Doro on. But that was quite the rock concert that you started us off with. I mean, that was
Absolutely.
awesome.
You're
So
welcome.
that was absolutely fantastic. Doro, an absolute pleasure to see you again. It's been a little while, but it's been a little longer than we like. But of course, you're very, very busy. New music, fans, metal, all that great stuff. But again, on behalf of myself, Angel, and Lisa, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time, and welcome to Front Row Promotions.
Thank you very much
Absolutely.
for having me. Always great to be with you guys and talking about metal and good stuff.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, of course, first and foremost, congratulations are in order for Warriors of the Sea coming up in a couple of weeks, released to all of the public. And first and foremost, of course, it's always got to feel wonderful and feel just so fulfilling and satisfying for yourself, for your band, and for your fans whenever you're able to give us a new record.
Yes, actually, and it's really special because it's a beautiful picture, this, and I drove all night to get it because I just got it out of the factory, and here it is. That's
a front row exclusive.
Awesome. The first, yes. Awesome. Yeah, and the Metal Summit.
There you can see the ghost ship. I don't know if you can see it, but the thing is
beautiful.
That's the picture. This, isn't that nice?
Yes. Oh, I love it. I have to get that. Absolutely.
I'll get it.
Here, there's the ghost ship. I don't know if you can see it.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. And actually, there's a special limited edition which is awesome. I have to show it to you. It's like it's a liquid filled vinyl with Blue Curaçao.
Oh, the liquid. Oh my God.
Yeah,
look at it.
I was reading about that. That is amazing. I was like, how in the world did that happen? How did you put that together like that?
Actually, it's handmade. I didn't make it, but the company made it. And actually, yeah, it's all handmade and glued together. Then you put the liquid, like in this case, it's Blue Curaçao in it, and you can definitely play it. You will not ruin your record collection. You can play your record player, and it just looks cool. And it's something for the diehard fans, and it has some etching on it as well. I don't know if you can see that. Probably you can see it's like there's some skulls and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's something special, and
I've never seen before. That's amazing. Yes.
So cool.
And we want to baptize the record with Blue Curaçao, of course. We want to do it in America and in Germany, and celebrate something special. And actually, and I did my own cruise. It's the Metal Queen Metal Cruise. We did it, and it was immediately sold out. And we did a second cruise, and actually there we filmed the video you guys just saw. And and I thought, man, I have to write a song for the Queen Metal Cruise. I did so many great cruises, which I still want to continue doing, like the Monsters of Rock cruise and the Full Metal Cruise, the Megadeth cruise, 10,000 tons of metal. But I wanted to do my own as well, and playing like 2 or 3 hours for the fans, all the deep cuts and some special songs. And then we did it, and then the video was done, and then I thought I want to do maybe a little single, maybe a picture disc, then maybe a 12-inch, and then a whole album came out. And there's
That's
some
amazing.
And Warriors of the Sea, of course, and cover version of AC/DC's Touch Too Much. I think that came out really nice.
Yes.
B-side is all live tracks of the last tour, and some songs of the new album, like Children of the Dawn and Fire in the Sky, and then my favorites, Raise Your Fist in the Air and Revenge. And so
yes, I was listening before the show, and Raise Your Fist is a kick-ass song. I really love that. Oh my Lord. And you did Touch Too Much. Awesome. That was perfect. Absolutely. Yes. I love your voice. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite AC/DC song, and so much fun.
That's a great go-to song when you want to get, crank it up and you're feeling your juices and you're getting wild, and that's the one.
Oh, totally. I think when I was still in school, that was my favorite song, and I never even thought that I would have a band. But then when I was 15, 16, I had my first band that was called Snakebite, then Beast, and then Attack, and then Warlock, and right time, right
Awesome.
place, you know. And yeah.
So Doro, what got you into want to become what you are today, to become this musician that you're so wonderfully you're just amazingly doing? What gave you that? That's what I want to do.
I felt it when I was 3 years old, and I was listening to one song. I didn't know at the time who it was, but later on I found out it was Little Richard. The song was called Lucille, and I was 3 years old, and I told you, I went, I was hooked. I was hooked. And then I wanted to become a singer, and I'm an only child, so I always want to have like brothers and sisters. And then when I was 15, 16, I formed my first band, and then many other bands. And then it was the time when metal became bigger and bigger. At first we didn't even know that we were doing metal, because it was so, I started in 1980 with my first band, and there weren't any magazines, nothing. But then later on, there were the first fanzines, and then some magazines. Then we went to England and to the Netherlands and Belgium, and then we got our first record deal, and we put out our first album, Burning the Witches. And suddenly we could tell, man, there were many more bands like us, and we did our first gigs with Metallica. Like, when they had their first album out, Kill 'Em All, we played the first gigs together in Europe. And then we played with many bands like Venom. I remember we were all supporting Venom, like Warlock and Metallica and Venom. They were like, big. And then I got my big break when we played the legendary Monsters of Rock festivals, 1986, and a great lineup. Ozzy Osbourne headliner, Scorpions, Motorhead, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Warlock, and I think we did pretty good in England. It was a very important day. All the record company people, journalists, agencies, everybody was there. And then we did a great show, and the fans loved it. And then they said, okay, let's give this band a shot. And we could hop on tour with Judas Priest. And Judas Priest was my favorite band, and it was so unbelievable. And the second tour, one day after the Judas Priest tour, was Wasp in England. And then the third tour was Ronnie James Dio. And I tell you, and then I could go to America and actually do a little promotion tour for 3 days. And after 2 days, I knew I wanted to stay, and I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. So that was, yes, it's a long time ago, but I never did regret it. It was always what I want to do since I was 3 years old. Yeah,
that is amazing. That is super cool.
That's so awesome, for sure. Before I kick it down to Angel and let him take away the next segment, the thing I want to ask you in this segment, bringing it back to Warriors of the Sea, is for somebody like yourself, you don't go long periods of time between albums. Like, you are always writing, you're always working with your band musically, and it wasn't that long ago that we had you on to talk about your last record, and now we get to talk about the new record. What is it about continuously putting out new music leading up to Warriors of the Sea that fulfills you and makes it such a driving force to keep your fans, satisfied with new music instead of just listening to the old stuff, which we love, but of course new music continues to keep us going?
Yeah, actually, exactly what you said. I wanna make the fans happy. I wanna give them, good stuff, like something, like empower them, give them good energy, give them something for heart and soul. And and when ideas pop out, then then you gotta immediately record it, because sometimes in that moment there's so much magic. So I always, when I feel I have a good idea, usually my whole body then vibrates, my heart pumps like crazy, I can't sleep anymore, I'm so excited, and I have to go immediately into the studio to put down immediately, like maybe a demo or like the vocals. And when I get excited about something, then I think, yeah, maybe the fans will like it as well. And yeah, I think that's important. And it's important to, yeah, to have like, you know, the raw energy, not to labor about it like for years and years. I did it actually in the past. Sometimes records took like 3 years, but then we went back to the demos and all the demos went on the record. After 3 years, actually, we could have done the record in 2 or 3 months. But yeah, I love music and I love the fans and I love, you know, putting out stuff. And it's, you know, sometimes you don't even know, you know, when there's like an adventure, like for example, the doing a cruise, you know, suddenly I had the idea, oh yeah, I want to write like a theme song for the cruise. And then it just came out like, and usually when I have ideas, it comes out before I fall asleep or when I wake up, or maybe in the middle of the night, maybe I dream about it. And then, you know, I immediately have to wake up and put it on my cell phone. And it's not that I sit down and write a song. You could do that as well. But usually when it comes out from deep, deep, deep down, I think that's something, you know, that might have, you know, some real magic. And yeah, but I love it. I love it. I love the fans. I love metal. I love music. So it's yeah, it's not that I feel I have to do something. And this one with the special release, it's actually not many new songs, but rare tracks. And I thought, not many people know them. And Warriors of the Sea is on there, so I want to do something special before a new album. And I don't know when this will come out. I have some ideas already, but probably will take 1.5, 2 years. So
Sure. Absolutely, Doro. That's absolutely wonderful. Of course. Angel, my good man, my friend, my bro. Let's kick it over to you, man.
And just want to say congrats on the new record. And
thanks.
I'm still hooked on your last album. So it's like now I have to go into the new record and everything. How did the idea come together for you to mix having like the first half of the album being studio tracks and then the second half being live tracks?
Yeah, actually, like the last record was called Conquerors, Forever Strong and Proud. I loved it so much, and when we played it live, I think certain songs, they were so awesome to play it in front of people, to play it with people when people were singing along. And I thought, man, I would love to have, yeah, the whole B-side live tracks to let other fans feel the energy. And I love live things. I think studio versions, they can never match the high energy. And yeah, and then I just picked my favorite songs. And one of my favorite songs of the latest album, Conquest, there was actually Children of the Dawn. I always loved it so much. And Fire in the Sky, I wrote it with our guitar player Bill Hudson. And Revenge, I wrote it with Bas Mars, our other guitar player. So I wanted to, yeah, to put all my favorites on. And yeah, and people who haven't gotten a chance to listen to the Conquest album, you know, there's another chance to, you know, to breathe new life into these, I think, really nice songs. So that was actually the idea.
Absolutely. I have to say, Doro, I love your clothes. I love your outfits. You're absolutely amazingly beautiful in almost every picture. You look like you're 21. And
Lisa, can I say one more thing, please?
What's that?
I love Total Eclipse of the Heart.
You do? Isn't that nice?
So good.
That was Rob Halford's choice. Like when we saw each other on many festivals, and we are great friends. And it was my first big tour in 1986. Ever since, we are great friends. And then, I told him I'm about to do a new album. There was Conquerors. And then we looked at each other and we said, man, it's about time that we should do something together. And he said, do you have an idea? What would you like to do? And I immediately said something of the British Steel album because I love it so much. And I did already Breaking the Law with Udo Dirk Schneider. No? And I said, Living After Midnight. He said, oh yeah, let's do it. He said, and I have a song I always want to do with you, Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yes.
wow, that's a big production, like Jim Stein production. And when I listened to it and heard it, I thought, wow, man, that's a huge production, but let's try it. And then I think it came out so nice, and then we did a nice video for this song, and I love it. I love it. And I love it that Rob Halford loves it so much. That means so much to me. And we've never done it live, but maybe we would do it. I don't know. It's probably a hard song to pull off live.
That would be amazing. Yes.
That'd be so cool.
I would have to bring tissues.
What was that, Angel?
I would have to bring the tissues and the lighters. You know, like we used to do back in the when they would play the ballads.
Absolutely.
And instead of the phone, we would do the lighters.
Yes.
Yes. And I remembered when everybody was smoking in the venue, it was full of smoke, but it had this atmosphere. Of course, it was not good for your lungs, but it was cool. It was cool smoking and lighting, the lighter for ballads or anthems. It was actually, it was cool. And I kind of felt that kind of freedom when we did this cruise. We could turn it up definitely to 11 because nobody cared. In so many clubs, they're like, volume restrictions. So you have to, like turn it down, which for metal, I think that's terrible. That's, that's not right. That's not right. I want my ears to bleed. But on the ship, we could just do, there was not much security. People could just stand right in front of you, like no gap, no volume restriction. It was awesome. And people from all over the world came, from America, the diehard fans came from America. It was so cool. From England, from all over the world. So, and we were definitely like, we were always, like it was like a unit. And we were fighting the good fight, on this cruise. It was very special. And I could play songs which I would never play live in a normal set or on a festival. A festival you sometimes have like 75 minutes or 60 minutes. So we always stick to the, the classics or All We Are or Für Immer. But on the cruise, I could play all these deep cuts. And that was really nice. And, and from super hardcore to super soulful, like, for example, the song, it's called Seelied. It's in German. It's called Song of the Ocean. And it was just a piano, and I sang it, and people said, "Oh, wow, that's like that." That was very touching, I think. And so, so I like doing special things, and and surprising the fans, and it's always fresh. Every gig is different, every tour is different, and it felt like a ghost ship, pirate ship. It was
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So, Doro, I have a question I want to ask you real quick, mixed with a little bit of quick story time before I steer it back to Lisa to take it away, because, of course, we want to respect your schedule and respect your courtesies as well. But the first time you and I ever got to meet were many, many years ago. You played Baltimore Soundstage with Sister Sin. And that was the first time that you and I ever got to meet. But the first interview we ever did wasn't that long later. You played a small club not far from me called Fishhead Cantina, and we did our first interview in the back of your tour bus. It was like 2 a.m. You actually weren't feeling well that night, but you really wanted to do the interview, and I've always loved you for that because it was my first time really getting to talk to you. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is I've always thought this was not only a very cool, candid story that you and I got to talk about, but I'm not going to go into the full details because, of course, it would take too much time. But what I basically want to ask you is you and I had a very cool discussion for ourselves, a very interesting discussion about the history of Warlock and the name and losing the name. I'm not going into that part. But what I wanted to ask you is, since you've, of course, been able to continue on with so many amazing albums under the Doro name, under your name, had things played out differently back then, would you have liked all these records, assuming, of course, all these records continue to come out, would you have liked them if things had been differently to still have all been Warlock albums? Or are you cool with the fact that over time they've been done as Doro albums? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. And I tell you, actually, at first I was heartbroken. I think many fans too, when we lost the name Warlock. And actually, this album was supposed to be a Warlock album. This one was force majeure.
Force
It just-
majeure.
Yes, it just went gold. The record company called me and said, "Hey, you have a gold record after so many years."
Congratulations.
Yeah, and we did a nice picture. So we are in contact with Universal again, putting out all these, all these Warlock and Doro records as picture discs and stuff. So actually, yeah, at first I was totally heartbroken, I must say, and I couldn't get over the fact that we couldn't perform anymore under the name Warlock, couldn't put out records anymore under the name Warlock. And then, you guys remember the times when grunge made it so big. It was so difficult for all these normal metal bands or rock bands to survive. So I think when I had the Doro logo, I could be more experimental, and then we did some records like the Machine to Machine record, which it was totally different. That was done in 95.
Mhm.
It was more industrial. I loved it. Other people said it was maybe too industrial, but I think it was so cool. It was so sexy. And we did Angels
Yes.
Never Die. That was in 1993. I did both records with Jack Ponty, who is actually not anymore with us, who was a great producer in New Jersey. We did it. So I think maybe I wouldn't have survived the grunge times if it would have still been Warlock, because the record companies, they said, well, we can't put out a normal metal record if it's not grunge. It was hardcore to survive. So when I could put out like the records under the name Doro, it was maybe more acceptable to a wider audience,
Yeah.
and but of course I always want to have the name Warlock back, and but now I can actually perform under the name Warlock. I could put something out under the name Warlock, and actually we play the nice festival in America, the Hell's Heroes, in March next year in Houston, Texas, and it will be a whole Warlock show with all our Warlock classics and the Triumph and Agony. That's the main part. And then of course Burning the Witches and Hellbound and all that cool stuff. So I can do both now, and I don't know if young fans would even remember like the good old Warlock times, from the 80s, maybe they need other, older brothers and sisters to hook them on. But it was definitely tough, and
Yeah.
if something's not your choice, that's like so hard to accept, but but 20 years later I got the rights to the name back, but 20 long years, man.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I've always loved your album as well, Love Me in Black from the late
Love,
90s.
Love Me in Black, isn't it nice? I think that's one of my favorites too. And it
Awesome.
was officially released in America because times were different. But I think that's like, it's so special. It's so classy. I did it in New York, in LA. I did it a couple of songs with Die Krupps, a German band. And I think it's one of my favorites too, especially the title song "Love Me in Black." The
Yep.
fans call out to hear it live. Like in the encores, I always let the fans call out the songs they want to hear, which weren't in the set. So "Love Me Black" is usually always, like number one. Like yeah.
Absolutely. Because we're always going to get, all we are, because that's exactly what
That's
we
my
are.
favorite. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's always, man, that still has so much, magic and good positive energy. It's still a fan favorite, and it's still a favorite of mine to play it. And Für immer, that's the song,
Yes.
which was the Triumph and Agony as well. And here you guys can see it. It's like right sitting here on my bed.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's awesome.
Of course. Right to you, Lisa.
What one word would, if you could just pick one word, what one word would describe you as a musician? Just one.
Actually, the musician, the one who loves the fans.
Yeah.
And I want to make the fans happy. And usually what makes me happy makes the fans happy. And I love all kinds of music, from super hardcore, brutal, aggressive, to super, super soulful. And, and I love people, and I want to make people happy with, everybody has different taste, of course, but, I do it for people who love like the songs or the music I do, and it's usually rock,
Awesome.
speed metal in the beginning, or not,
Yes.
or anthems. I love anthems, but yeah, I would say the one who loves the fans. That's how I would describe myself. Yeah,
Describe
that's important to me, and
Well, we love you, Doro. We always want you here. We always want you on the Metal Summit and Front Row Promotions. And today we just joined hands because we wanted to see you all together. And we were just so fortunate to get this interview with you. Thank you so much for coming.
thank you.
Congratulations on Warrior of the Sea.
Absolutely. Yay.
I don't see Angel anymore. Please say hi to him. He's not on my screen, but I'm sure he's
I
probably.
will. And also, Steve was he was trying to get in, and somehow the internet thing wasn't working. So I sent him the link a little late in the thing, and I thought he had it, but it's okay. He was trying to be here, but he's here in thought and spirits. So
In heart and soul, that's most important. Thank you so much for having me, and I will always remember our great talk in the Fish Head Cantina. This little time.
Oh, that is so cool.
No, thank you so much, Doro. It's so awesome because, like, I mean, I truly appreciate you not only as a fan, but also as a musical influence as well. And even just the thought that, like, whatever little bit of our conversation at a small little club in Baltimore stuck with you that's an amazing courtesy that you've extended, that you remember that. And that was super duper cool. I mean, the show was phenomenal as always. And on behalf of myself, Angel, Steve, and of course, Lisa, our host, we can't wait to hopefully get you back at something like the M3 because that was such a great time.
Yes, we played 2 times there. It was awesome festival. I would love to go back, and I hope next year we will play many, many, many festivals. It's already in the works, in the making.
For sure.
But Health Heroes, that's confirmed, so we will definitely be there. But all the other stuff, it's in the works. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely, for sure. Doro, thank you. We love you so much, and right back to you, Lisa.
Bye.
All right, we just want to say if you can just plug your socials. I have it down at the bottom, but you also can say more so about where people can find you.
Okay. Yeah, the socials. Guys and girls, check out there all the dates and fun stuff. Instagram is Doro Metal Queen, and Facebook is Doro Pesch Official, and X is, I think, Doro Pesch, and YouTube is Doro's Channel. Yeah, Doro's Channel. That's all YouTube videos and all that good stuff. And the website is doromusic.com. But but you will find me, and there are many fan pages.
Absolutely.
But doing a great job too. So like I love the fans, and when they are doing something, it's sometimes wow,
and you can tell they love you too, Doro. We all love you. You're amazing. Yes.
Thank you for these nice words.
You're welcome.
I hope live I see you at a show or festival or M3 or anywhere.
Absolutely. Sure. And we really appreciate your courtesy, Doro. Thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We love you.
I love you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
See you next time. Yes.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Should we end it?